The day Karen tried to claim my Rolls Royce, I was on my knees in the driveway, grease on my hands. My father's old socket wrench between my teeth. The sun was sliding past the oak. The wind smelled like cut grass. And that silver hood ornament glimmered like a stained glass window, catching light. I had just coaxed the V8 to cough for the first time in decades when she showed up, clipboard in hand. Marching like a parade marshal. 3 HOA board members trailing her like obedient ducklings. "It's abandoned," she declared. "And it's not compliant with neighborhood aesthetics." I wiped my hands on an old rag, one of Dad's flannels. "It's a 1964 Silver Cloud," I said. "She's not abandoned. She's coming back." What I didn't say was the truth that mattered. This wasn't just a car. It was a promise. I'd found her under a sagging carport after the Miller estate sale, half buried in pine needles, forgotten. The son wanted it gone. I offered cash and a handshake. Inside the glove box was a service record from 1978 and a parking stub from a church wedding my dad used to point out. Silver clouds when one glided through town. They're not loud, he'd say. They just know what they are. He died last year, quiet man, strong hands. When I saw that car, I heard his voice. So, I brought her home. Karen planted herself right in my driveway like she was christening a ship. "We've had complaints," she said. "Leaking fluids. Property values. And frankly, it's an eyesore." I looked at the pan under the block, clean as a dinner plate. "Show me the leak," I said. She lifted her chin. "The vehicle appears unregistered and abandoned, which means the HOA can take steps." Something tightened behind my ribs. "You're not taking it." That smile of hers barely touched her lips. "You can either tow it to a garage or relinquish it as abandoned." I already called it in. That was the first spike. Anger, sharp and metallic. Then disbelief. Who calls the city to steal someone's car in broad daylight? I stood slowly. I didn't raise my voice. Dad never did. "You called it in as abandoned?" "Yes," she said proudly. "For the good of the neighborhood." Before I could respond, my neighbor, Mr. Henderson, shuffled across the lawn, cane in hand, navy cap pulled low. "Afternoon," he said. He looked at the rolls the way men look at graves. "Haven't seen one of these in years." Karen turned sweet. "We're just addressing a compliance issue, Tom." He squinted. "Whose car?" "Mine," I said. He nodded at me, then at the car. "You know what you're doing?" "Trying," I said. He tapped the fender 2 soft knuckles, like respect. "Don't let them bully you." Karen's smile froze. "I'm not bullying. I'm protecting standards." "Standards are fine," he said. "Stealing isn't." 30 minutes later, a city tow truck backed into my driveway, yellow light spinning. A county deputy climbed out, calm eyes, steady posture, the kind of man who's seen it all. "Owner here?" He asked. "I am." I handed him the title and bill of sale. He checked the VIN, brushed off some dust, and nodded. Karen fluttered her papers. "It's unregistered, inoperable, an eyesore." The deputy gave her that teacher look, patient, but tired. "Ma'am, abandoned means no known owner." "We've got one." He held up my papers. "This isn't abandoned." Her eyes narrowed. "But the bylaws, your bylaws, don't override state law," he said flatly. "Then to me, you planning to register once she runs?" "As soon as she breathes." He smiled. "Then she's home, where she belongs." He tipped his hat and left. The tow driver shrugged, rolled up his cable, and followed. Karen stayed. Her board members looked ready to vanish. She regrouped quick. "Then we'll fine you," she said. "Visible repairs violate community policy." "I've got a car cover," I said evenly, "and a tarp for the tools." "I'll comply. But you don't get to decide what I keep, Karen," she bristled. "Mrs. Hall." That night I pulled the cover tight over the car. Sat on the porch with coffee that tasted like rust and pride. The street was quiet. except for a barn owl gliding over the hood like a silent blessing. Next morning, citations. Visible mechanical equipment, non-compliant automotive project. Fluid containment, not visible. I laughed out loud. My containment pans were spotless, so I took pictures. Dated them. Printed the state law that protects historic vehicle restorations. Highlighted the key lines. Dad's voice echoed in my head. Don't swing first. Make them miss, then step in. Each night after work, I made progress. New plugs. Rebuilt fuel pump. Cleaned chrome until I saw Dad's hands in the reflection. Every small fix turned anger into resolve. This wasn't about the car anymore. It was about proving. I'd learned from the man who raised me. Quiet strength wins louder than rage. A week later, she filed another abandoned vehicle report, but this time, she used a fake photo. Not my driveway. An old estate listing showing the Rolls half buried in pine needles. The city called me. I sent real photos, title, and statutes. The lady on the phone sighed. You're fine, she said. We'll flag her name for misuse. That's when disbelief turned into action. I drafted a letter to the HOA, polite but bulletproof. Every accusation answered with evidence. Then I invited the whole neighborhood to an open porch Saturday. Cookies, lemonade, and a covered silver cloud. This isn't junk, I wrote. It's history being restored with respect. Saturday came. People showed up. Not all, but enough. Mr. Henderson told stories of 63 staff cars and chrome you could shave in. A young dad brought his boy, who whispered Rolls like it was sacred. Even the deputy stopped by, hand on the fender, smiling. Karen drove past twice. Didn't stop. The HOA board meeting was the next week. Folding chairs, stale coffee, and that cheap carpet smell of bureaucracy. When my turn came, I kept it simple. Photos, title, cover, law. I'm not here to fight, I said. I'm here to honor my father and the rules. Both can live together. Karen shuffled her papers. It lowers property values, a voice from the back, the young dad. I'm a realtor. Covered classic restoration. Raises interest, not lowers it. Another voice, Mrs. Patel. He invited us. He listened. That's the kind of neighbor we need. Then Mr. Henderson stood, cane tapping once. I served so we could sit on our porches in peace, he said. Let the man restore his memory. Silence. Then the board president spoke. We're not the city. We can't call something abandoned when it's not. I move, we declare the project compliant, fines rescinded, inspections by appointment only. The vote wasn't close. Karen was the lone no. She packed her papers like she'd lost a war no one else was fighting. I walked home slow. The sky looked rinsed and new. I pulled the cover off and turned the key. The engine caught, low and polite, a heartbeat in metal. I didn't rev it. I just let it breathe. Justice didn't roar. It hummed steady, calm. ARNED. I set Dad's wrench back in his red. Toolbox with a click that sounded like closure. Mr. Henderson waved from his porch. The little boy across the street raised his fist in victory. Karen never came back. Maybe she learned something. Maybe not. I learned enough for both of us that dignity doesn't shout. It just stands its ground. The lake was calm again. And for the first time in years, so was I. Sometimes standing up for what's right means standing alone until others find the courage to join you. Have you ever faced an HOA like this? Share your story in the comments. I read every one. If you believe some fights are worth having, hit subscribe and let's stand up together.